Ladies and gentlemen of the Briar, hope you are all getting your holiday shopping and trips planned and all that jazz. It has been an interesting year. Definitely been an interesting few months. Regardless of your persuasion on things, everything from the election to the geopolitical components of our world to massive social changes. Not that that hasn't been going on for a few, but the ebb and flow of it is pretty crazy. Yeah, I think 2024 has been a pretty interesting year, but I think 2025 is, well, I think it's going to be equal in whatever ways. So for today, it's an interesting blend. It's one I've seen. It's one that it's a brand that I think I have one other blend of this brand, and that's the Rattrays. This is the Bagpipers Dream. I wasn't a huge fan of the first blend, which is probably why I haven't revisited the brand. It's an aromatic, but it's a weird one. I mean, that's anyone who's familiar with this channel knows I enjoy both. I enjoy, everything from English blends and love some Kentucky fired cured stuff. Like it's really depends on my mood as far as what I'm gonna sip, right? And the aromatics, I mean, arrows kind of take care of that sweet tooth for me. Sometimes I'm just kind of in the mood for something like that. If I go for a walk with the dogs or whatever. Admittedly, I tend to do aromatics when it's cooler outside. Just something about a sweetly blend in the summer. I don't know. It's not my thing. With that said, this is definitely one of those blends that's, again, I don't really get into tin notes and bag notes, but I will say when something's very predominant punch in the face, it's worth a mention, I suppose. This stuff is a cognac in it that really, I mean, it's boozy in the note. I mean, when you open this up, it's just pow. I haven't found that it translates into the flavor though. Like when I sip this, it's not the same. Give it a look. I mean, it's a nice blend, and you can see the black Cavendish in there. You got some really nice golden Virginias in there. I mean, it's great. But yeah, I mean, it was a little sticky. I had to let this dry out. I wouldn't say goopy. It wasn't that bad. But it was definitely something that was, I mean, you can tell this has topping on it, right? But yeah, so with that said, I'll go ahead and get this bowl situated, and we'll light this up. All right, so fired it up. It is it is an okay blend. It's not at all as sickening sweet as it is when you smell it. I mean, the olfactory is, it kind of sets you up for thinking like this is going to just be one of those really goopy, burn really hot, really sickening saccharine sweet. It really isn't. It's mildly sweet. It's pleasant. It's not a complex blend. Putting that as the forward, but with that said, there's like an odd combination of things going on for this, right? So you have that you know, the black Cavendish, the cognac dressing on this, the topping, it that obviously is giving it a very sweet play. But it also, you know, with the Virginia, it has that bit of a citrusy component, and I don't know if it's a mixture of that Virginia along with the cognac that's giving it also a very like rose hip tea, very floral component to this. It kind of reminds me of a milder version of I think it's Irish Blessing, I want to say it is. Don't remember the blender, but I do have that blend. Actually, I've reviewed it. It's on this channel, but I want to say it's Irish Dream, and man, part of me wants to say that might be a Carnell and Deal, but I don't know. Either way, this is almost like a very tamed version of that, with a lot more of a Virginia presence than that has. But it's less sickening sweet. I mean, that one is hands down an aromatic. I mean, that one is goopy, it's sticky, it is very flavorful. What you smell when you open that one up is what you're tasting, and they're almost equal in strength as far as that goes. I mean, it is a delicious blend. I like that blend a lot. So when that comes to holiday, I might have to down my Irish, get up and do maybe a second review. But yeah, this is like a mild version of that in some sense. I'm not saying this is a clone or anything. But I like it, and I've noticed that you know, a lot of aromatics, because of that sugary casing, it tends to burn off, and the flavor profile will change a lot for some aromatics, not all, but for some. But that is definitely not the case for this one. I find that it's, you know, from the top to the bottom of the bowl, it's pretty consistent as far as that goes. Yeah, and you know, it's, if you do enjoy aromatics, I don't think, you know, there's some blends that are almost hybrid, right? There's some that are mild enough in that aromatic component where even if you're not a fan, they're kind of like a nice intro to them, or just something to mix things up without it being overbearingly an aromatic. This one's an aromatic. I mean, this one doesn't really kind of fit in that category, I don't think. But if you enjoy aromatics, but you know, it's something where like I could sip this one a little bit more, I think, on the summer times, and when it's warm out, and you know, this isn't an everyday sip, that is for sure for me. Sipping this this is actually the 2023 Peterson Christmas. You know, I like the Peterson holiday pipes. You know, they've got their St. Patrick's Day one, they've got a Christmas one, and Halloween. Those tend to be the big ones that they put out. However, looking over their site this year, nothing really tickled my fancy enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. I have more than enough pipes. Sometimes they have some really nice iconic ones, such as the Jekyll and Hyde Halloween one. I love that one. Sips really great, and it's just a really cool thing where it's just rusticated on one side and smooth on the other, and it's just a really cool concept. And then there's the Dracula one, which really is just rusticated, you know, black as coal, and but it's got that really nice red and black swirled acrylic stem, which is, I mean, come on, you know, it's got the bats that are engraved in the silver band, and it's cool. Anyway, there's a time and a place to buy a pipe, I suppose. Otherwise, it would get out of control. But yeah, so that is it. It's an okay blend. You know, again, the notes are not complex. There is a citrus, grassy note that from the Virginia for sure. There's the very confection component of the black Cavendish mixed with the cognac. I mean, it's got that floral component, so very earthy, woody, citrus, floral, a little bit of grass. I know those, to anybody who does not sip a pipe, that all sounds like, why would you want that combined? How about those freaking drones, huh? I used to always say this country's going to a certain place in a handbasket, but then also it's like this world is going to a place in a handbasket. What's interesting is apparently it's not just on that side. There was I don't know, about a day and a half ago, a couple nights ago, in Oregon. Look that one up. After you get done watching this one, look that up. Air traffic, several jets and you know, a medvac helicopter or plane of some sort, all radioing back and forth with the tower. So like they're seeing odd components that are drone-like and so forth, and it's not a phenomenon to just the States either. I mean, this stuff is noticed all over the place. It's just weird, you know. I think the weirdest part is watching the people who are in charge, who can, you know, zoom in and see the word Peterson on this pipe if they wanted to from, you know, way up there. But they don't know where these things are coming from, where they're going. Sure. And I don't sip a pipe. I mean, even before Congress, the head of the FBI says, well, we don't have a division that's heading the investigation, because until we know where they're coming from and what they're from, we don't know who to assign as head of that investigation. So until you investigate it, you don't know where they're coming from or what they're doing. But until you know what they're doing and where they're coming from, you're not going to investigate. It sounds like you don't want to figure this out. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, we live in a society where everybody has just forfeited any processing of reality to just absolute neverland. So, in every respect, everything from our health to basic sciences of biology, and, you know, you name it, right? Anyway, yeah, it'll be an interesting year, I think, for sure. But anyway, so that is it. You know, this is, you know, Bagpiper Stream's okay. It's not a bad blend at all. I mean, this tin will probably last me a hot minute. I'm not gonna probably burn through this really quick. Earthy, woody, little citrusy, a lot of floral, slight booziness, and that's about it. So if there's part of that profile that you're catching, share it, because a lot of us, you know, sometimes it's you gotta pull the mind in and then let it see it. But that is it. Finish up your shopping, and if you're traveling for the holidays, be safe, be well, and happy sipping.